We finally have the maintenance patch notes in Etheria Restart. So today we're going to discuss, is this what players were expecting? Is this going to save the game? Because I think, in my personal opinion, that these were the most anticipated, more expected patch notes. So let's discuss, let's jump into the details. So we will also be discussing the buffs and debuffs, by the way, but at the end of the video. So first of all, 2 new dark units, Lilium and Nell. I don't want to get too deep into the details. I think Lilium is going to be really good in Doki Doki, but it's still very early to say because we don't have the stats, right? Once we have the stats, I will do an in-depth video of my own thoughts. I will be doing some pulls. I'm going to pull for both of these units, but I think it's early to say how good they are actually going to be. Although I can predict both of them are going to be meta-defining, especially Nell, in my opinion. Nell, now that, spoiler, Revelation has been nerfed, I think the Bruiser meta needs Nell. And this is going to be fascinating because it's close to be the Lily replacement. You know, everybody wants to say, oh, the new unit is going to be the Lily replacement. Well, this one adds speed to the ally that has more attack. It applies vulnerable. So it's at least like an evolution of Dyna. Very useful in PvE, I think it's going to be as well. But again, very early to say. So the key thing is, 2 new units and then some key changes to the gameplay. First of all, Inferno difficulty now features a guaranteed mythic quality shell drop. After 5 victories, you are guaranteed to receive a single mythic quality shell. And I have to say, my personal opinion, well, first of all, what do you think about this? Because personally, I think what I was expecting here is that after 5 victories, you get 1 mythic quality shell with 9 matrix, so 3, 3, and 3. That will be fascinating. That will be fantastic. But for now, I think this is like very low, extremely low actually, knowing that it's Inferno, right? We have more anything echoes now, more stages, more complex things. The good thing is that this doesn't have any time attached to that, so you can complete them whenever. And a new mechanic, which is Frostbite, that, after 10 turns, there's a snowstorm that will sweep across the battlefield. So basically, some fights are going to be like a DPS race or a race somehow. So you need 10 turns to defeat the boss. And if not, you are dead, which is good, New mechanics, always good. Secret stages have been added. And because it's secret, we don't know what this is all about. The Season 1 starts this week. This is really good. I can't wait for RTA to be back. I actually don't understand how in a PvP game, we don't have any PvP right now. I would have loved to be playing off-season, without any pressure to rank up or to rank down. Yes, play for fun, but play RTA for fun. I think that would have been fascinating. And the arena loadout, the feature that most players, in my personal opinion, I think most players were expecting this, a dedicated gear loadout system available exclusively in Arena Realm mode. So now you can create a specialized competitive build for your Animus based on team composition without affecting the PvE build. How painful it was to think that to do PvP, you need to start tweaking things here and there, and then all of a sudden you try to farm PvE, and then you cannot really farm PvE, you cannot really do PvP optimally. So it was a pain in the ass to manage that. So I'm really glad that they have prioritized this as the top priority. I'm really, really happy with this. So 100% heading in the right direction. Then some battle balance adjustments that we will look into that a bit later. Then some battle fixes. I think plenty of bug fixes. I don't think it's worth reading through all of this because I don't want to bore you. But I like that they are fixing, things like the leaderboard with nicknames that are very, very big, or the chat where, sometimes I couldn't even see the chat. I think that's pretty cool. Now here, there is a enhancement strategy functionality, lineup recommendation for daily high difficulty challenges with curated top tier Animus setups based on aggregated player clear. So I think basically they're improving the book feature in my head. This is how I read this. This is very good. Feature optimization after the update, formation will now save both shell and module equipment status for Animus. This is very good because the system feature formation was not really being used because It was not adding much value, and now finally we can have the same unit with the PvE gear with different loadouts. So with the loadouts plus this one, we have way more ways to manage the inventory on the same units. So it's so much better. They have a display for the initial turn meter, very good quality of life, improved continual battle stability, very good. Repeat conditions for achievements and remove the daily donation limit in Cyber Shadows. They are adjusting the game, so this is very good. Especially, the key thing is increasing the participation reward for victories and defeats in the Summit Arena. Victory now grants 200 stars. I think this is really, really important because the max refresh strategy, I don't think it was sustainable at all. I think I complained about this in my previous video. We need to max refresh already to get more chances to get modules and shells, but also in the arena, they were asking us to max refresh just to get more coins, etc., and to get more points. So at least now we can get the coins to buy things in the shop, which is really good. I'm really happy about this. A reduced damage dealt by buys all as an enemy. They are optimizing the battle effects, fantastic, and they are lowering the stage requirement for Cage Rumble. Triple S is now reduced from 4.5k to 3,000. I think this is very good because I don't remember how many players were able to clear Triple S, but I think it might be like the 0.1% or something like that, which is not really fair when you have extra lattice fragments. I think the divide between Krakens, low spenders, and free-to-play was already way too big, and it was a bit unfair. So I'm really happy seeing this. They are adjusting some requirements, very good. Improve overall game stability, very good. All right, also improving the game, the language, right. So now let's go into the meatier part of the conversation. Hellkid now is the mega bot. It's not a kid anymore. It's like Hellman kind of thing. So basic speed is increased from 111 to 117. And it can reach to 127 when upgraded to 6 stars. This is fascinating. If we look into the tier list, 127 is now very, very competitive. And I'm all for it because I'm a Hellkid main and I would love to use it way more. And now he's going to be in many more teams. Although, word on the street says that Lilian, the new dark unit, will eat Hellkid for breast fats. We will soon find out. The good thing is that the barrier also, it still does 3 hits, but it has been improved from 240 to 300%. I do think Hellkid was a bit mid before. With this one, it fits so much better. I also think a key improvement for Hellkid will be to change his S1 or his S2 or his S3 so that any of those abilities give speed, because that would be the real top stuff. Although I appreciate it's too early to do that. This change already feels like good enough. Holden, one of the best units in the game, is getting a buff, which is surprising because the bruiser meta is heavy and he is getting a buff. So now he's gonna do a bit more damage and he has a higher chance to inflict defense down. Fascinating. Then also increases his counter attack rate, and also increases the damage based on defense. So we're going to see plenty of Holdens working with Lighthouse, full on defense mode, just like countering attack and passively, slowly but steadily killing the whole team just because, Bruce, these 2 points are like full on Bruce meta. Now, Chloros is, I'm really happy about this one. He deals 480%, but now the final damage is being increased when he uses his S3 ability from 25 to 35%, up to a maximum increase of from 100 to 105%. So this is very good. If this is kill the target, they cannot be revived. This is one of the few units that have this ability where, when you kill, they cannot revive you. So Hoyan doesn't work. Sanya, green Sanya doesn't work. This is really good. And I'm really happy to see this because I would love to see Chloros more often. And maybe this will mean that it could be perhaps a bit more useful in PvP, although right now it's a bit mid in PvP. Rahu, interestingly, Rahu, like a unit that, yeah, I haven't seen only in PvP type of scenarios, now deals a bit more damage, 30% more damage, 350 to 380 of his own defense, with now a 80% chance to inflict a death down. So quite likely he's going to be doing defense down now, which is very good. And also defense up goes to, grants all allies defense up for 2 turns and gains 2 stack of wrath, then deals damage to all enemies from 360 to 400%. So now, again, similar to Holden, people are going to be building Rahu. Probably if you don't have Holden, you're playing Rahu as the full-on defense, bruiser meta heavily coming into the game, which in a way makes sense. And let me explain why do I think that makes sense. It's only one reason. Building a bruiser meta is way easier than building a speed meta, cleave meta type of thing, because the sub-stats on the roll, right? So if you just get your Lighthouse Shell and your Bramble set, it's way easier to build units than waiting and hoping to get plus 16 speed items, right? Plus 14, plus 19 speed. That's extremely difficult, but then getting Bramble, easy, right? And I think even without the perfect rolls, Bramble works, right? Bloodbath in the shells works. So, especially Bloodbath, BB is the key. Bloodbath and Lighthouse. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the meta that is coming, and this is what they are preparing us for. Now, the good thing is that as well, Lil Mocha has been improved, and now the final damage has been increased from 0.6, which was a bit like, it was decent already, but now it's a whole percentage, 1%. So this is very interesting because in a skill, with 2 lattice, I think it was from 0.5 to 0.6, something around those lines, or 0.4 to 0.5. And then the last, when you max out, it was 0.6. Now it's 1 full percent. Wow, this is a lot. And then the good thing is that her skill 3 deals from 180% to 200, 20% extra damage. This is very good, to be honest, because it's going to make so many people have built Real Mocha because of Doki Doki, right? So now Doki Doki runs is going to be way easier thanks to that for many people, not for everyone, right? But for many people. And not only is more damage, but the first hit now has 100% chance to stun, which is extremely good in PvP. Extremely good in PvP, especially in those bruiser metas, right? Where now you can fully stun, full send your Real Mocha, S3 attack, and maybe you don't do much damage because maybe you're using Real Mocha with Bloodbath as well and Lighthouse. But the good thing is that the damage that it does, independently on how much it does, it will stun the enemy, which is really good. 100% chance of stun is fascinating. After attacking, yes, splash damage. This is the same. Now, fuck you. Fuchu, I think that's the right pronunciation. Fuchi, I don't know. The 4th anima effect has now changed from effect accuracy to effect resistance. I think, again, this makes sense in the meta that they are driving. They want to see more bruisers, and this is a definition of that, right? So that you can bring her and build her on effect resistance when, now your 4 copies will have way more value. This is only like for people that are going whaling or that really love this unit for some reason. So now it's a bit easier to build her. Maybe 2 modules on effect resistance will make sense. Now, Oboro, bleeding at the start of the turn, take indirect damage equal to 50%. Now it's 100% of the applied attack. All right. I haven't played much with Oboro. Gray, one of the best units because it's free. Plenty of people have access to Gray. It's an SR unit. Oboro is also an SR unit. Now it deals 40% extra damage on a skill 3. So I think if you are not playing Bruiser, Gray alone might be able to clear the table. He was close to clearing the table before. We need to do some testing, right? Very early to say, but this is looking like I love this kind of changes. Anything that makes SR units way more powerful, yes, I'm up for it. I'm up for it because I think this is healthy, very, very healthy for the game, in my personal opinion, because this is how you bring a more fair experience to all players. Now, Chiaki, skill 3, basically adds 3 stacks of healing, very good. Rin, another SR unit that grants defense up for 2 turns, equal to now 300% of her own defense. Fantastic. And the cooldown is reduced by 3 turns. Very good. Tsutomu deals 2 hits of 200% to a single enemy, and each hit has a 80% chance to steal 1 random buff. Again, very useful because people that don't have any dispellers could consider bringing, maybe Tsutomu, maybe Viper to fights like Aurora. Don't know, just giving some ideas there that might not be crazy. But again, very, very important to bring this kind of updates. So I'm really happy with this. And now the skill 3 also does more damage. Fantastic. Marvel, skill cooldown reduced, although I think this is good, but from 5 to 4 turns, when it costs so much, I think it could be, right, let me change my mind. I think this is going to be really good again in the bruiser meta, right? Where Marvel now is going to be shining a bit more in those teams that are bruiser, but have a Marvel to apply silence and so on and so forth. So potentially very useful. It might be surprising how good 1 extra turn is. Mizuki Makoto, basic speed again increased from 107 to 110, and it can reach 120. This is very good, but again, I think SR units, it would be fantastic if they are even a bit faster. 121, 122, make it a bit more competitive. I wouldn't mind. Deals damage now, 60% extra damage. Wow, very good. And 50% chance still to dispel 1 buff. Sibyl, so she's fighting Nikonana in the latest video. 3 hits of 120 damage, so which is very good. And now 4 hits of from 90 to 100%, and R is 20 to 25%. Increased turn meter 20 to 25%. Again, another unit that maybe we are underlooking. And Kachi, now it has a 50% chance to inflict a stun for 1 turn. Again, very good because it's half the chances. So maybe now with effect accuracy, Kachi can be decent. Now, the key, most controversial topic is this one, right? Revelation has been nerfed, and it's only been nerfed in PvP, which is a good thing. It's a fantastic thing because then, well, 1 second, let me explain. It's good that nerfs are only applied in 1 type of mode. That's what I mean. Now, let's see. They're reducing the damage dealt by 30%. So, will be affected in PvP mode. Revelation will be affected by the Etheria effect, protection field, reducing damage dealt. So, I think we need to see what will be the final outcome of that. It's clear to me that they are heading to a bruiser meta. So, yeah, I think it's nice to do this. But then what happened? The question is, what happened with so many people that build Revelation, right? Because it's so expensive to build a shell. It's so expensive to find the perfect roles. I think the key question is, are we going to have any sort of reset event? Is it like a shell reset event? Is it like an Animus reset event? Like, I think this is like very risky to do, knowing that it's so expensive to build shells in the game. I'm not against that per se. I think this might be good in the long term, but right now the economy is so broken that I feel this is extremely risky at this stage. And I feel that it's like a rock, paper, scissors kind of PvP, which is like, bruiser counters Revelation. So I don't know. Also, well, count still is there, so it's pretty good. It's not the same, of course. But yeah. Then Golden Lion, when the host Animus use skill 1 twice, increase the final damage to 8% now, and effect accuracy by 15%, very good. Maximum stack reduced from 8 to 5. Okay, so now the maximum is lower, but we can get there faster. Hyperlinkers accumulate start faster. Yeah, okay. Then all shell skills will no longer be considered skill 1. Any effects that target or interact with skill 1 will no longer apply to shell skills. Okay. And keen eye can no longer be triggered by damage from shells. Yeah, which makes sense, but maybe this feels like more like a bug. So what do you think about the Revelation nerf? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? I have mixed feelings about this, mostly because of the economy, mostly because of for 56 days, I think the game has been running, 56, 57, 55. We were heading in one direction, right? Which is fine. And now we are changing direction, which is natural. But then the investment has been huge, right? In one direction or another. And this is something that is making me a bit itchy, because let's say that we go full on bruiser now, right? We start farming only Lighthouse, full on bruiser. Why would you even consider bringing DPS that are doing damage? Let's just do full on bruiser DPSs. Like I have seen many jellies using BB, Bloodbath. And then what happens if they nerf Lighthouse, or Bloodbath? Do you see where I'm going? Like, the challenge is the implications, and I think it might be difficult to manage and difficult to be healthy with such a poor economy. So I think this is debatable. But overall, apart from that, I'm really happy with the direction of the patch. So in my head, this is one step closer to get to a healthy game. I'm still missing, as you know me, if not, I will just say, I'm still missing what is for me still the most important thing, which is an Animus reset event after the season ends, and potentially once per month. Potentially every time that we log in, we should get an Animus reset fragment key, and then after 30 days, you can build a key, so you could reset one unit if you play, if you log into the game. I'm missing something like that. Honestly, I'm missing that because it will allow experimenting. It's not even about Rev being nerfed. It will allow experimenting, which I believe should be a core thing in any PvP game. So yeah, I'm a bit itchy about that. I also think what's going on with the modules, right? So not only that they are not increasing Inferno, so that Inferno could only drop 3 matrices, or maybe like 3 matrices and 3 substats, or at least 3 matrix sets. It's also like they are not moving the cost around. So it still costs the same to increase a module. And for me, that's crazy. I think from level 1 to 9, it should be way, way cheaper. And I'm not seeing that. So those are the 2 key things that are still missing to me. Of course, like shell randomness is still like pretty poor. But I think if they could focus their efforts on like the module system now and the Animus reset event, for me personally, that would be fantastic. But what do you think? What will it be the number 1 feature that you would like to see, or the number 1 improvement? What would that be? I have also seen many people complaining about the skins because they are just like a recolor. I think that's a low priority. I think it would be fascinating to have really proper skins that are actually different. For example, she looks like Cardcaptor Sakura, which is good, but what if a new skin could be her with a massive sword and a massive shield and warrior princess, hot warrior princess type of thing? Maybe it could be fun to see, like, I don't know, like be more innovative could lead to more sales, perhaps, right? So just a theory. Anyhow, what do you think about this? I think it's pretty interesting. I'm not getting my hopes up yet, but it seems positive. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. What a long day. Until next time, cheerios. Bye-bye.